All right, here we are again to have a conversation with you. I mean, Alan Smith already put you through sports on Eagles Wings, all of the actions, the intrigue, and everything in between in the world of sports. But this hour allows for us to talk politics and current affairs, and we will indeed be conversational. I mean, it's one thing to say that we are going through hardship. It's another thing to bring about the economics situation to you of Nigeria. It's another thing to talk about Tinubu, Mr. President, or talk about the presidency and all of that. And not talking about you, us, how we are even coping through this period. I know it's a public holidays today. Most of us are right back at home and all of that. But just like Omoefe said earlier in the morning, which is very true, the hustle continues. It's like
Right.
aluta continua, Victoria Sata. Yeah, this one is an aluta for the hustle, right? And they say it's a struggling world. We've got to struggle through it and do the most that we can just to ensure that we are able to put at least one square meal on the table. All right. But anyways, I will just introduce ourselves and we will indeed engage with you. Comrade Gerald Okachi is standing by already, and he's going to be having a conversation with us about Easter celebrations, or amidst the economic hardship and insecurity. Easter celebrations amidst the hard times. How will Nigeria cope? How are we coping? How are you coping? How much more can we take of the killings? How much more can we take of the chaos, the insecurity and all? My name is Uduak Daniel.
And I am Omohefe Peace Osemere. It feels good to be back in the studio. Thank you so much for staying with us.
That's right. Now, we have Comrade Gerald Okachi already. He's on the line, and we should just go, connect with him. Remember, we said it's going to be a conversation, so let's have that conversation already. A very good morning to you, Comrade Gerald Okachi.
Yes, a very good morning to you, Yuji, and our beloved.
I must say Happy New Year to you, because this will be the first time, we'll be having a conversation this year.
Yes, I understand that you are on sabbatical. That's the family.
Says, how's the family? How's the family?
Very well, thank you, comrade. And
Awesome.
Happy Easter to you.
Happy Easter to you and to our beautiful people out there.
That's right. Awesome. Well, comrade, here we are again. I mean, how are you coping this Easter, Comrade Gerald Okachi? How are you coping? Let's start from there.
You see, Easter celebrations is one of the cardinal practice of Christianity. In fact, that is the foundation and basis of Christianity. And over the years, he has reflected and tried to be a season that we share joy, share love, celebrate together, and then try to understand the meaning of what we preach or practice. So it's one of the most significant Christian celebrations, not just in Nigeria, across the world. And because it is a season of joy, family reunions, travel, and the communal feasting is part of the celebration. But today, especially this year, 2026, Nigerians, not just me, with realities on ground, are having a mixed feeling with regards to this Easter celebration, where we are facing economic hardship. Insecurity in parts of northern Nigeria means this alleged accusation of Christian genocide that continues even after we experience attacks on Palm Sunday in Jos Plateau, and we expect that government of the day will be proactive. Yet we continue to see more attacks in different parts of the northern states, especially on Easter Sunday. Then we have the issue of persistent electricity blackouts. I hardly can remember, because almost all the family members I've got will tell me that they don't have light. And you begin to reason it that even while you are facing these blackouts, we are having a hike in petrol prices, which affected even the services that are supposed to be a season of joy. Some churches, usually during Easter period, share gifts, share love, feast together. But due to high energy costs, the money they would have channeled into, showing these laws have been channeled into ensuring that they have power supply to do their service. As such, affect the celebrations. You look at issues of rising political tensions here and there. So the question therefore should be, how will Nigeria cope with celebrating hope and restoration in the middle of a national hardship, which I think the economic reality today cannot be ignored. The high inflation, particularly food inflation, which has increased since February, especially with the fight in the Middle East that have given rise to fuel prices that affects even logistics, the food chain, and living standard across the country. So basic staples that families normally buy during a festive period like this, like rice, chicken, vegetable oil, have become significantly more expensive. Transport costs have also risen due to these things I have presented. So making it difficult for many Nigerians to travel to their village or visit relatives as they traditionally do during Easter.
All right. Well, Nigerians are facing a very tough Easter season amidst this economic hardship and insecurity. And indeed, the country's inflation rate as at 2022 of April was 18.17%. That was the inflation rate at the same time last year. 2022. And over 34 million Nigerians now have been projected to face acute food insecurity by mid-2026. Now, the economic challenges are really compounded by the insecurity that we're facing. I mean, you already mentioned it: banditry, kidnapping, herder farmer. Even the U.S., Iran, Israel, war is also having energy implications on us as Nigerians. I mean, even the Christian Association of Nigeria recently urged Nigerians to remain very hopeful and united. In fact, they emphasized the importance of community support and spiritual growth, which many Nigerians have really condemned because they say, well, what is this talk about community growth and spiritual growth, community support? Because they're not having any community support whatsoever in any fashion or form. Just recently, we saw on the front page of Nigerian newspapers how two CNG buses exploded. So it makes you wonder if the support or the supplementary or the cushioning effect of Mr. President, where he said about 100,000 CNG buses will be out there to cushion the effect of fuel price and all of that,
and the hike in transportation.
If it was a cause in futility, and it's adding to this entire process. I mean, just recently as well, Pope Leo has recently expressed sorrow and concern over the violent attacks in Nigeria, particularly Kwara, Katsina, Benue states, where dozens of people have been killed. And religious centers, they're supposed to be a safe haven or a safe space for many Nigerians, is seemingly no longer safe. Imagine it's Easter Sunday and you're planning a family gathering. I mean, you've invited your loved ones, but you're struggling to afford basic necessities like food and drinks, which before now, it was not even a problem. Food and drinks was not it was not food and drinks. Come on, we'll have it. Don't worry. Come one, come all. I doubt if there is any event that can tell you come one, come all. Right, especially in this period and all of that. I mean, this is the reality the Nigerians are facing. Let's get this one. Is coming from Mrs. S.A. Williams in Kubwa. They're scaling down Easter celebrations due to rising economic pressures, and she's saying, is there any way that the government can address the economic hardship faced by Abuja residents, especially with the rising cost of living? Do you think that there is light at the end of the tunnel? Do you think that there is any panacea or any sort of alleviation process, to look into some of these issues? And if there are, which one would you say is frontal or pointal, to ameliorating what we are facing, not just within this period, but of course in the coming days?
Yes, I think honestly speaking that government has a lot to do with regards to situations like this. As of today, Nigerians honestly are not just, especially Christians, are not just celebrating, they are struggling for survival, and that is the reality we find ourselves, especially in some northern states, where this allegation of Christian genocide is, they continue to give rooms to those allegations to continue to filter. Government have a lot to do. First and foremost, it will be a crime against humanity. It will be, a responsibility that one tells you that the chances that they will attack, and as a government, which your primary duty, which is your fundamental duty, is to protect life and property. You are unable to protect those people, and they still attack. It doesn't make sense. So, first and foremost, there should be increased security with regards to vulnerables, and then the issue of the economy. There should be intervention from government with regards to energy that is soaring. Today, we are experiencing blackouts. That blackouts, there is not something that you expect individuals to manage. As of today, Nigeria is the only major country that our citizens, almost take care of all their needs that government are supposed to do. You give birth to a child. You take the child to private school. You ensure your own security with regards to employment of vigilantes or men or what have you. You ensure you take your own borehole. You ensure that as of today, for those who have money, are beginning to consider use of solar because of failures in the power sector. So it simply means if Nigeria, if you don't have money, you on your own, you will suffer even more, and that is not supposed to be. And that is why you begin to hear reports that over 140 million Nigerians are in abject poverty. So I think government has a lot to do. It shouldn't be that a season like this that is the foundation of Christianity. They are struggling to even see like to even freeze some of the foods they manage to get. To begin to share, extend those laws to even non-Christian communities. You understand? Which is one of the beautiful things about Easter. You share with your neighbors, just as this coexistence that we have enjoyed, the unity and faith together. Whenever maybe our brothers in the other side are celebrating either Salah or maybe traditional day or whatever it is, we cohabit together, we share together. But as of today, you can hardly see where you begin to freeze some of the things you begin to share. It simply means even those ones you manage to cook, you must consume it immediately, if not they will get spots. So it doesn't tell good. The government has a lot to do to improve these events. Ensure we have good power supply, ensure their security, ensure we have water supply, ensure that energy sector, even if you cannot subsidize it, just like you normally see, like for example, almost all the festive period, you hear federal government announce free railway trips, maybe from Lagos to Ibadan, maybe from Kaduna to Abuja, maybe from Warri to Ibadan. This kind of things makes a lot of sense. And you see some state governments also emulate that. So we can look at how we can manage the energy sector. If need be, you can introduce a subsidy. We have removed subsidy for 3 years. We cannot boostfully hit our chest and look at what we are using the subsidy money to do. Rather, the only thing you will hear is that there's more money to the state. And even more money to the state. Many states are not paying even minimum wage of 70,000 naira. More money to the state, you struggle to even live up to expectations.
All right.
Today we are having a sense group that we are supposed to even make more money aside the budget presentation we have made. With more money we are still borrowing. So you look at all of this together. We need our governments to leave politics, leave propaganda, come together, think for the people, especially our own president that of course, it's closer to where it's going than where it's coming from. There should be legacy. There should be, things that we, start preserving the mind of people and the children unborn with regards to impact, and not the kind of hardship we are creating ourselves. Take, for example, the recent borrowing that we experienced of up to $6 billion, $5 billion the other side, and $1 billion from UK. You ask yourself, if we are borrowing in dollars, when we know that even our naira is depreciating almost on a weekly or daily basis. If as of today you borrow at the rate of 1,003 something or 4 something, by the time the next 5, 10 years or 15 years comes, you have to pay back. Who knows? Naira may be heading into 3,000 or 5,000 naira per dollar.
Right.
It becomes a problem.
Yeah, comrade.
Okay.
Let's look at some other concern.
All right, comrade, for starters, I mean, I know you didn't ask you this question earlier, but I'd like to ask you, if you don't mind, are you trying to say that none of your neighbors have, knocked on your door since yesterday to say, oh, happy Easter, brother, happy Easter, comrade? Is that what you're saying?
You see, everybody is unlucky.
Sure.
Just this morning, my community chairman and some executive came to my house, and were kind of asking me, guy, where have you been this year? I said, where have you guys been? So they were looking, no lights, nothing. Sometimes the news you get are not even encouraging. The other person, he couldn't even go to church because he cannot afford to fuel his car to go to church. You see, continue to get complaints, and so it's not something that is encouraging. You understand? But in the midst of all these challenges, I see Nigeria rising up. I see hope. I see that no matter how bad it is, we will find a way to ensure that the reason for the resolution, the power of resolution, is shared together.
Okay. Comrade, the issues are too many, honestly, to deal with, from food insecurity to unemployment to poor infrastructure, and of course, the big elephant, one would say, would be corruption, which is not just, typical, of Nigeria or in Nigeria, because we've seen cases of corruption in other climes as well. However, I'm not trying to hold brief for the government, but we've seen that there's been a spike or rise in global, food commodity prices, and this can, be linked to the escalating conflict, in the Near East, and also the energy cost. Of course, we've seen in recent, weeks how it has, impacted us right here in Nigeria very negatively. However, comrade, we've seen Nigerians, celebrate these festivities or mark these festivities, through thick and, thin. I mean, from Salah celebrations to Ramadan to Christmas to New Year, and now even Easter celebrations. We just have a way of, adapting. I think that's what makes us very resilient as a people.
Yeah.
So is that not, to tell you that it is more of a foundational problem or foundational issue, right? As opposed to us attributing the concerns strictly to the present day administration, because administrations have actually come, they've gone, but the concerns, the lamentations, they are still there, just that they keep taking different, dimensions every year. Comrade, how do you deal with this?
I do not think, seasons come, season goes, and administrations come, administrations go. It depends on how you approach issues. Yes, you can say globally we are facing economic challenges with regards to the war in the Middle East between the U.S., Israel, and Iran. And then there are also countries that have managed the outcome, because governance is all about planning.
Okay.
You anticipate both the good, the bad, and the ugly. You don't just anticipate for good. So that is why you have reservoirs, you have arrangement for every eventuality that are not captured in the budget. So this is where they come to play. When you are celebrating a festive like Easter, and you are celebrating it in blackouts, will you, put that as a tradition? Of course, that is not a tradition. And blackouts cannot be said to be occasioned by the war in the Middle East. No. When you are celebrating festive like Easter, and there was an attack a week ago on Palm Sunday, you know, and our president, you know, in his good intentions, went to Plateau just to commiserate and show solidarity, but ended up in airports and returned back instead of getting to the place where he can, you know, renew the hope.
Right, let's not make a storm in a teacup over the president's visit to Jos. All right. But then you're right.
You ask a question. You ask a question. You talk about tradition, whether it's the tradition. I'm just trying to clarify issues. You know, it's all about leadership. Sometimes there are where you do interventions or lead. There will be hardship, but people will not feel it heavily the way they are feeling it today. There shouldn't be any reason why we continue to see blackouts.
Okay, comrade, let's put a break to your thoughts. Just quickly take this call. Hello, good morning.
Judy.
Yes, good morning to you. Bright.
Peace or sa ne.
Right, he just called your full name. Omo Efe Peace or Sam.
Good morning, Bright.
Good morning.
Yes.
It's because of you I'm calling.
Oh, okay.
See, Judy. You see this Tinubu administration, don't tire person new. I'm going to the market now to go and buy charcoal iron.
Charcoal iron?
Yes, now.
Why now?
You are asking me. So you are coming from where? From Dubai or from where?
No, Nigeria, no.
There's no electricity anywhere in the whole country. We are suffering. See, you see these people that are posting that they fought military, they fought for democracy. One day, let us put this military rules and what do they call it, democracy, side to side, and let us see what Nigeria benefited more from. This, just like if you call Babangida now, do you know that Babangida will be laughing if Tinubu is boasting that they fought them to a council and they regained democracy? Do you know that Babangida can point at Abuja, that he built Abuja, Third Land Bridge, many other things? But tell me, like all these Tinubu and Bakare, tell me one thing they did to Nigeria that is monumental. The only thing they did is ICC that was built by Babangida, they went and renamed it by themselves. No lights everywhere. Now they are talking about the validation of a voter's card. Is it not disenfranchised the Nigerians?
And Mr. President just approved 3.3 trillion naira for, you know, AEDC, for the power sector, power generation.
What you will ask yourself is, when they were doing privatization, who are the people that did it? Is it not the government? When they see their cronies.
Oh, Bright, are you there?
Hello?
Yeah, we can
when
hear
they see their cronies, they give them that money. Then again, their cronies bring it into the government again to collect and, you know, put themselves in power. Now, are you giving people now 3.something billion naira? What of all the whole money that they are putting into power sales? Who has accounted for them? Or is it when you go, you take your own, you go home, it's forgotten, go, your sins are forgiven, like Oshomole said. Is that how we will continue to run this country? Right. You know that after giving this 3.something trillion now, the people that were involved now will put the money in their pocket, and another administration will come. They see they give something again. Okay, let me ask you a question. I hope they charge more during Buhari administration. Where is the money now? The only thing they will subsidize they having is the bandit A, bandit B, bandit C, or they call it the band, what do they call it?
Yeah.
And they are.
Oh, right.
All right, Bright.
Okay.
You might want to call back.
Might want to call back.
Yeah.
Let's see this message here very quickly. This one here, let's go.
All right, Yusuf from Wusetu says, good morning, UD and Ife. This
morning.
year's celebration in Nigeria is filled with economic hardship and sense of uncertainty about the future. My experience has to do with poisonous fruits being sold around uninhibited, you know, during this festive period. On this, I give NAFDAC and Consumer Protection Agency thumbs down for doing little about sale of expired substandard products, including beverages, alcoholic and non-alcoholic, by the way. fruits ripened with dangerous chemicals and frozen food preserved with poisonous chemicals. This could be the cause of unexplained sicknesses afflicting Nigerians today. NAFDAC has demonstrated lack of capacity in the area of food administration, which should necessitate reorganization of the agency to be alive to their responsibility. And NAFDAC is not all about campaign against sachet alcohol. If NAFDAC cannot handle their mandate on food, they should relinquish the responsibility to a more serious agency to handle. Have a nice day. Yusuf from Wusetu said.
Okay.
Now, I think this has to do with our attitude as a people. Beyond, I'm not trying to challenge, the submission of Yusuf, right? We know, of course, that NAFDAC has a role to play. We Nigerians will also have a role to play. I mean, people are just in a hurry to make quick gains. Comrade, are you on the line?
Yes, I am.
All right. Now, I'm going to link, what I'm saying right now to what I asked you earlier, because I really do not think he's been able to really hit the nail on the head. Now, NAFDAC, there have been campaigns upon campaigns and all of that. I mean, we've heard in the news how NAFDAC, has
making
been,
successes.
Successes and also cautioning the public, even people who sell fruits, especially people who sell fruits who, use, is it carbide or something to ripen these fruits. There have been monitoring exercises as well. Maybe a lot more needs to be done, but we are Nigerians. And at the end of the day, who are those consuming these products? Still Nigerians. True. So why are we harming us? Why are we hurting ourselves by ourselves? All right, the government has a role to play, but we have a greater role to play, if you ask me. And that was why I asked Comrade, Gerald Okachi earlier, that this is beginning to look like a foundational problem. Because during the former President Goodluck Jonathan's administration, there were concerns. During Easter, Salah, Ramadan, Christmas, and all of that, there is hardship. During the former President Muhammad Buhari, may he so rest in peace, we also saw, lamentations from Nigerians, and here we are, still complaining over the same thing over and over. Now, I want us to separate, the electricity issues, from what is on ground. Let's talk about the essential needs of an average Nigerian, putting food on your table, right? Who do we really blame for the hike in, the cost of food, Comrade Gerald? Is it still the government or Nigerians? Why is it that when these festivities are fast approaching, there's always a spike, there's always a hike in the price or prices of food stuff? I want us to keep our essentials away. Let's focus on the food stuff. A hungry man is an angry man. Comrade.
Yes, to respond to what you have just asked, if you want to talk about tradition with regards to festive period, one of the major traditions we can look at, which is not even a festive period, whenever we are to face a general election, is issues of insecurity, rising, especially when the leadership is from the south. But then when it comes to food, you recall that the major festive period that the Christians celebrated before Easter was Christmas. And in the Christmas celebration, we saw that there were a reduction in food prices. So people did not lament like they are lamenting now. We saw that there were intervention with regards to energy sector, that even Aliko Dangote had to reduce some prices that to up to 700 something naira that people were purchasing for, as against over close to 1.4 that they are buying today. So there were actually interventions from the government angle that they did some moves back when they opened the borders and did a lot of things to ensure that they crash prices. So that is where the government comes in. The issue of power supply was not even as what we are experiencing today, because there is a chain reaction for those that sells either frozen food or maybe even grains. In one way or the other, in terms, they use power supply to do either preserve the food or to even ensure production in either beverages and what have you. But today you are not having the electricity, the energy supply, especially the fuel, the diesel, is on the rise. It affects food prices. So you cannot compare. Just 4 months ago we celebrated Christmas and Easter. That is where the issue of tradition, I would disagree with the issue of tradition. Not in all. The last 4 months we celebrated Christmas. Many of us gave the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu thumbs up. We expressed our love. And they used it to, show that their reforms are working. They boasted about it, which is the reality. 4 months down the line, we are facing a different music. So it's not issue of tradition, honestly. It depends on leadership, as I have emphasized. There shouldn't be any reason why, under the leadership, especially the current supervision of Minister for Works, Adelabu, I can't even remember the name fully. But we will continue to face national grid collapse. We continue to face obstruction of work, either form of protest or one issue or the other. Even as the Asogila have left the national grid so that there will be more power to the Nigerian people, instead of improving, it got worse. So it's not issue of tradition, honestly speaking. It's issue of leadership.
Okay.
All right,
yes,
thank you.
Nigerians, and just like every humanity all over the world, we behave like Oliver Twist. There's no perfect arrangement. There's no perfect situation. There's always this push for improvement, and that is why we are all humans. But then, you cannot compare where we are coming from and where we are today. I believe with some of the analysis we are presenting and the lamentation that people are expressing, hopefully in the next celebration, maybe Big Salah or maybe May Day celebration or maybe Independence Day celebration or even Christmas, the administration can improve on them. I'm sure it's the intervention of the government that made Dangote to consider removing some of the things he did during December period, because we are supplying him crude in naira instead of dollar, pushing away forest pressure and what have you. As of today, we expect even Dangote to do similar thing he did. He's not doing it. That's what we see almost on the 2 days interval, it increase. So you see that it's not a tradition thing.
All right, let's put it back to you.
Yeah.
All right,
you said it's a leadership thing, not a tradition thing. Well, we'll just take this one call and then we will go on a timeout. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Master Udra.
Good morning, Dr. Olajide. Awesome. Go ahead, Doctor.
I have never seen anywhere on earth where a provider will be collecting money for those they are giving their service to. And at the same time, people collecting money from government. It will never, no matter the government. Until what happened to first sector, happened to power sector. Just like your guest said, it's something we are talking about. It's giving what is necessary for the provider. So that it will yield what it takes for them to provide their services to us. Anything short of that, they are treating this as a country pie. But do you know what they are at $3.3 trillion? These people are asking for 7 trillion. It was after back and forth. They are now at 3.3 trillion naira. Are you telling me, Master Udra, by this time next year, these people will not come for another money? Look at what we not set up. If you like, go and bring food. If you say, go anywhere, bring the oil, bring the food. Tell it to people. People will buy if they like. So the government liberalize this energy sector totally. There's no way out. Because people behind you will continue to siphon federal government. They will continue to siphon the consumers. God bless Nigeria.
All right, thank
you. Thank you, Dr. Olajide.
Dr. Olajide right there, adding his voice. I mean, if we go on like this, okay, we'll just take this one. Hello, good morning.
Hello?
Yes, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Mr. Yudi.
Yes, please.
Yes, Bakare from Olufunmi. I also
good morning to your guests in the
Yes.
studio there. Very good speaking and very good analysis.
Okay.
Mr. Yudi, we should not forget of recent visiting just by Mr. President. You have a trip in Ogun State. You suspended it and went to Plateau State and ended up in a airport. Before he went to he sent the vice president to Borno where there was a bomb blast. Then he had a trip to Nondo. So he went there. He stopped in airport in Nondo. So I said to the people that he went to meet in Nondo, the answer is low. He should respect the people that is governed in this country. He respect Nigeria and he suspected Ogun State. Why would he not send vice president to Plateau State? Then he have a trip to Ogun State to go and visit people there. The respect he have the people in London, he also have the respect to the people in Ogun State, and we have sent the vice president to Plateau State. What are we talking about? This is Nigeria. This security is ravaging the society and kidnapping. As a chief security officer in the country, number one person, you must to take proactive measure. Is operated the same services to Borno State. It's a record development. But what is the result we are hearing in those areas now? Borno and Plateau State. The killing are still going on. Kidnapping are still going on. So this is our country. When this country goes, it is good for all of us. And this is bad. It's our name. Thank you very much.
Many thanks, Abubakar. Abubakar right there says when the country is good, everybody enjoys. When it is bad, it also falls on everybody's head. Well, comrade, let's just quickly go on a timeout. When we come back, you get to react to some of these thoughts from family members and indeed put a cap to the conversation this morning. This is Eagles 102.3 FM Abuja, and we give you an audiovisual television radio experience that you can count on anytime, any day.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
Easter Saturday, miracles they flow, power everywhere, miracle crusade, don't miss this flow.
Christ Embassy Ministry Center Abuja na gabatar da babban taron mu'jizai na Easter ranar Asabar, wato Easter Saturday Miracle Crusade. Ku zo ku kasance tare da mu a filin wasa na Moshood Abiola National Stadium Abuja ranar Asabar 4 ga watan Afrilu shekara 2026 da karfe 4 na yamma. Domin karin bayani ku kira waɗannan lambobi 08039499206 ko kuma 08137874056. Za a samar da motocin sifiri kyauta a faɗin Abuja. Wannan rana ce ta kaddara, kar ku bari ya wuce ku. Ubangiji ya albarkace ku.
Things they happen for our community, eh?
Now I can recoup back all the money I have spent on this annoying family.
Hey, yeah. That woman own don't finish. My dear, let's go and greet them, okay? Hey! Join Media Coalition and Awareness to hold trafficking, MICAS, on I Wish I Knew radio drama and program every Saturday at 10 a.m. on Eagles 102.3 FM Abuja. Join us to kick human trafficking out of our society. I Wish I Knew radio drama and program is brought to you by MICAS and funded by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Denmark.
Are you dreaming of studying abroad for free? Fully funded and partial scholarships are now within your reach. Join Praxis Educational Agency in collaboration with the Federal Scholarship Board of Nigeria for the 2026 China-Nigeria Scholarship Exhibition. Meet real Chinese university representatives live, get answers, secure admissions, and explore life-changing opportunities in China. Join us live on the 4th of April 2026 at Barcelona Hotel Wuse 2, Abuja, Nigeria. Time 11:30 a.m.
For further inquiries, you can contact us at 070-8475-0669 or email us at info.praxisagency@gmail.com. Or you can search us up at any of the social media apps, Praxis_agency.
Don't miss this life-changing opportunity. See you there.
And so we're back with a conversation, just checking in on you, and as we also bring all of the happenings around you to your notification, so that you get to know. I mean, we know that you know, but it's also okay to ask, how are you even coping? How did you cope this Easter, this weekend? It's been crazy for some. It's been terrible for most. A few have been able to smile, to have rice and stew. Not a lot of people were able to go out for what we call, in quotes, jollification.
Right.
I'm not sure a lot of people are jollificated now. It's not an English word, but yeah. In other words, they're celebrating or having, a good time with family, which is expected of this season and a period like this and all of that. And yet, in the midst of all of these inabilities, we still discover killings, death, in Plateau State. And it does seem as though this thing is now being reshuffled. It's like, okay, today should be Borno Stern. And then tomorrow we'll now concentrate on Benue. And then we'll now go to Katsina.
Right.
And then we'll now be in Plateau State. It's just crazy.
And another disturbing concern for me would be the fact that what I noticed to also, gradually becoming a trend is the killing spree at the eve of, these festivities.
The festivities, yeah.
Right? Christmas Eve, New Year Eve, Easter Eve, Salah Eve, Ramadan Eve, and all of that. So it's a lot, really. Everything put together, it's a lot. And, not to rub it on, the faces of people who probably didn't have rice and chicken, as it were.
True.
Because this is sadly becoming a luxury for, an average Nigerian, right? I had rice yesterday, but it didn't feel like,
It didn't feel like it.
It didn't feel like it. So I said to myself, are we really celebrating Easter? There was no sign of Easter celebration in the atmosphere. Everyone was just, dry
Just
and
there.
boring, just there.
Like
no neighbor even knocked on my door. I didn't knock on anybody's door, by the way. So,
okay. Anyways, this is where we are.
That's a sad reality, by the way.
Right. So what was it for you? What is it that comes to your mind as you go through this Easter celebration? Would it be with good fortitude? Or does it be with a feeling of feeling abandoned? Do you feel that there is more that needs to be done? Or has more been done and you just want to talk about it? Have you been able to, while you're in sober reflection, been able to see the pathway, the trajectory that Nigeria must follow if we must get it right? 0907 353 0044. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning to you.
Yeah, I'm calling from Cuba.
Yeah, what's your name, please?
My name is Fred.
Fred, welcome aboard. Talk to us, Fred.
Yeah, the question I want to ask before I make my contribution is, they clearly, Gumi mentioned that all negotiation that he's doing, that the government give him both the army and the police to go for the negotiation. See, today the government has not declined, said they are not involved or what, which means the answer is that government is involved. Secondly, a witness from Plateau who took coverage said that after the killing, when they were pursuing those people,
our Nigerian army gave them backup, give the assailants backup. And the question is that these people came with bikes, and the armies are there, the police are there, everybody is there. No one of the terrorists was gunned down or even captured. Can government tell us exactly the area they are, protecting us? We are not talking of rice and beans. We are talking of our life for us to be alive. Nobody talk about rice and beans again, because we are not thinking of 2027. 2027 is not our date. It's not our birthday. It's not anything for us. What is our birthday now is, can we live to see that 2027? Because the way killings are going on all over the Federation, please, the government should tell us, are they protecting us or they are killing us? Thank you.
All right, the government should tell us, are they protecting us or are they killing us? Well, Sheikh Ahmad Gumi indeed had claimed that he received security details from the government for negotiations with terrorists. In fact, he did that in an interview where he mentioned that he's accompanied by security personnel, including the Kaduna State Commissioner of Police, to these meetings. In fact, he even asserts that he's acting with the knowledge and approval of relevant authorities. However, though, up until this day, there's no official confirmation from the government confirming or denying Gumi's claims. In fact, some critics are arguing his statements could undermine national security, while supporters are seeing him as a peacemaker, so to speak. The government hasn't publicly addressed these allegations, and it's really leaving room for speculation. And this is what we always talk about. When these things are out there, especially controversies like this, Nigerians expect that the government should come out, pop and plain and clear, and then clarify the air or clear the air. But if you don't clear the air, you leave space for speculations. And when there is speculations, most of the time there is misinformation, disinformation, and what have you not. And you cannot blame anybody for thinking in the way they think. Because already the situation is in dire need of help. And there seems to be no help coming. At least not anytime soon. Just proposed help, that's what we see. Proposed. And that's how we keep putting it. We put it in plans. We'll say Vision 2020, Vision 2030. Now there is a Vision 2050. We are still in 2026. Okay, that's fine. But it's not about having visions. How do you indeed put the goals together that will work towards achieving the vision? Do we have that type of solid plan in this country that when a government says, we want to alleviate you, we want to ameliorate the pain, the suffering. We want to intervene in what you're going through. We want to be able to cushion the effects of hardship, pain, penury, whatever it is. That it will indeed have sustainability and do it in a transparent and accountable way. I think that's the message Nigerians want to hear in the season of Easter.
Beyond hearing these things from the government, it's okay for you to say these things, to assure and reassure Nigerians. But when you don't match words with actions, then it becomes very, very exhausting and quite irritating, for the lack of a better word. Because that has been the same trend with insecurity and the scores of people who have lost their lives. We condemn again, condemn order investigations to be carried out, and at the end of the day, it seems as though nothing is done, with the outcome of these investigations. And, before you know it, another attack, has occurred just like that. So, it's really sad and unfortunate that we get to experience these things on a yearly basis. But, Comrade, thank you so much for staying with us.
Yes, thank you for having me. But honestly speaking, I think there's a light at the end of the tunnel, because some of the efforts of the current administration so far shows that we will actually come out of this situation, because Nigerian current situation economic strain and insecurity, energy stability, and political polarization can improve, but it requires structural reforms, intentional and institutional discipline, and social conscience. You know, the Pathway Act is not just a single policy, but a coordinated national research across governance, economic security, and social cohesion. So I think they are doing that. Today we hear the Inspector General of Police talking about state police, which can address issue of insecurity, you know, to a certain length. We are hearing that they have moved their power from exclusive list, you know, allowing the states to, you know, be able to generate and do their own. So I think we are beginning to see some of this, but we need the presidency and those handling the affairs of this country to be intentional about finding a lasting solution to it.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Comrade Gerald Okachi, for adding your voice. And we are hoping that your neighbors will come knocking on your door. Better still, you will be the one to do it.
Without them knocking, I'll go looking for them. I'm already arranging something.
They come knock on your door.
Yes. The little picking and the other brains, we are frying them and making sure that everybody gets at least a bite.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Well done. Happy Easter celebrations to you, though, Comrade.
I wish you the same. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Right. This is where we call it a closing to each and every one of us that have also added our voice to the discourse. Thank you. We do appreciate you, and we say, please, let's keep holding on, keep keeping on, because just as the comrade said, there is light at the end of the tunnel, and we will indeed not hit the rock bottom, but we will see light. The voices being heard on this platform, whether from the caller or the guest, has not been influenced in any ways by Eagles 102.3 FM Abuja. However, we still say thank you for even adding your voice and being thoughtful. Good morning.
Good morning.